Welcome to a new session where we're going to discuss about the term value proposition. First of all, we need to discuss what is the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur is the individual, usually, that leads a transformation from ideas to opportunities. These ideas can be from external to or internal to the entrepreneur. This means that they can be changes in the environment, which is the external type of ideas. For example, new technologies or regulation changes, or differences in the individual insights, different perceptions of reality or changes in the context, or also influenced by prior knowledge or social capital of the individual. So, once the entrepreneurs have these ideas, their job is to lead this transformation of the ideas into opportunities. But what is the difference between idea and opportunity? Well, opportunity is about introducing objectivity into the idea concept. And this objectivity is introduced, for example, when there's the first product shipped or service completed in exchange of revenue, when there's evidence of value creation and capture mechanisms, or when there's a proof of the value proposition. There is also two ways of identifying these opportunities. One is the technology push, when the opportunity or the idea is developed inside the organization, then it is produced, there's a marketing strategy, and then they create the need for that idea. The other approach is the market pull, when there's an existing need and the organization defines or develops the products or services that can fulfill this need. One difficulty of the technology push, though, is to identify this need in the market. And in order to do so, one of the tools that is very useful is the use cases scenario, because it helps identify the relevant functional features, because it helps to identify the product that is using your technology, and it helps to identify the alternatives available into the market. So in this sense, what you can do with this use cases scenario is you can get a technology description and a description of the value proposition. But how do you employ this use cases scenario? This cases scenario has four main stages or four main blocks. The first thing you need to do is identify a day in life before your product, your scene or situation, your desired outcome, the attempted approach, the interfering factors, and the economic consequences of those that would use your product but haven't got your product available yet. Then you have to define what changes in their daily life after when they have the product available. This means what is the new approach, what are the enabling factors, what are the economic consequences for those using it. On the other hand, you can also ask several questions to yourself to identify what is the product that you are promoting, you are developing. How is technology encased? What are the requirements or standards? What else is out there that is compatible? What alternatives are there? And finally, you can also analyze what is your technology? What are you offering with that technology? Which features make your technology special? Could they be accomplished by other means? What are the other alternatives? And what uncertainties still remain? So, then what is the value proposition? The value proposition is very related to this use cases scenario, and is to join together the customer jobs with your products and services. In order to define this value proposition, it's very important to identify what are the customer jobs, what are their pains, and what are their gains. And on the other hand, how does your products and services provide a solution to the customer jobs? And how do they create some gains, they enhance these gains, and how they can relieve some of the pains. Finally, when we have this value proposition, when we have defined our idea, how do we manage, how do we bring this idea into an opportunity? Well, the whole process can be defined in different stages. And I've used these Babson notes to identify some of the stages. The first is to identify this opportunity through validating the value proposition. Then, you need to confirm the existence or non-existence of the opportunity by analyzing the different aspects of the use cases scenario, for example. You have to develop and reshape the opportunity according to the feedback received. Then you need to evaluate the business models and analyze competition. What alternatives do you have for the development of this value proposition? You need to also identify the needed resources in order to conduct this business model. You need to formalize the marketing, operational, and financial plans. And finally, you have to tighten and refine the full business plan. Thank you very much and see you in the next session.